Our afternoon triple feature. It's War Thunder. Today's broadcast is being recorded on the 6th of September 2018. It's 14 minutes after 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Daylight Saving Time. Update my calendar. Well, the tanks went over about 15 minutes. It's okay. Just need to adjust the calendar. Here we go. Let's get going. I did some skirmishes this morning. As I was processing some video, I find that that's the best time to grind out War Thunder. This is our 5th or 6th day, I think, that we've played. Got an update. I unlocked the attack aircraft, which is on our way to unlocking a bomber. I eventually want to unlock the naval kit. We're going to eventually buy all the naval kits, but they require a $50 donation, which we're going to have to spread over a couple months. It's not on our high priority list, but it's on our list of things to purchase. When you're playing games like these, you have to pace yourself out. Not try to buy everything at one time. Here we go. Again, this is our 6th day. I think everything's going good. I kind of like the air side more than the ground side more. The only problem with the air is it takes longer to get a group. So here we are. Just to recap where we are in the game. Let me see, look there, we've been researching down this line, and pretty much have everything in this, which unlocked the tier 2 stuff. This is a different plane. I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can research this. We went ahead and unlocked this plane, the BB-1. It's an attack plane. Strike aircraft have a little bit real difference than a fighter. Fighter's role is really a defensive role. You're there to keep the wing clear of the bombers and attack aircraft so that they can get to their target and drop bombs. They designate this aircraft as a light fighter, but it has an eye, which is an interceptor. Designation. So it I think of it more as a training aid while you're learning. We have advanced our crew. It's 2 points. So this is where we're going to spend all our efforts. We're going to be pretty much using this reserve plane, so we can build up our crew points, and with that our guy will get better, our skills will improve, and we'll acquire money to hopefully research these other planes as we slowly unlock them. Let's get going. We're going to do the first half hour on the air side, and then we'll switch over to the army side. Ground side. We actually have had several successful landings since I started playing. Landing is very difficult. One thing that this game does that World of Tanks does not do is, or World of Warship for that matter, is take the curvature of the Earth into account. So when you're flying a plane, you're going against the curvature of the Earth. The plane will pick up velocity, so you have to keep adjusting your pitch. Eventually the plane will stall if you maintain that angle. I do like the detail of the aircraft. We'll be playing in realistic mode, and we'll be using the simulator mode. I did learn how to turn my head in the cockpit. On the PlayStation, it's you hold down the D-pad, the down button, and then you just move the right stick, and that turns your head pitch up, down, so you can look around when you're in the cockpit view, which is actually pretty fun. Our plane, we don't have any of those fancy gadgets that all the other planes have, like windows, sight glass. We have to do everything with our eye. And the only drawback to this game is the queues are longer. I think I'm gonna move my picture over to the right side of the screen. There we go, that's a little better. Just look out the crew training while we're waiting. We need to grind out 22 points to... I'm gonna go down this line and apply points as I acquire them, and I kind of gather from this little menu here that you got to get 20 points for pilot training, 5 points here, 10 points here, 5 to finish our basic qualifications, and then we can get advanced qualification. I have elected to just do it the old-fashioned way, rather than boost automatically. I feel it's important to, as you develop the aircraft, you gotta develop the pilot too, and as a player you have to develop your own skills too, so... well, that's the route we're going. Remember, in these games you're really just a basic target, and you're slowly gonna become a better target as the game progresses. One day will be awesome though. It'll be awesome. Burt Reynolds died. Wow, 82. The Bandit. Here we go. I think that camera's going to be in a bad spot, now that I think about it. I believe that's where the target indicator is. Go ahead and move that again. There we go. Right, taxi runway. I kind of like to let everyone else take off. That way I don't end up wrecking my plane. Let's look at the map. We gotta fly, we're gonna fly south and hit that target at D4. Switch back to our virtual cockpit. We're gonna maintain this angle so we can glide. I find with this aircraft you gotta get up to around 9,600 feet to get a good diving slope. Watch this, I learned how to turn my head. Check this out, watch. You just hold the pad down and you do like this. Look at that. Fancy technology, huh? Looking at my dials, look at that. I see the aircraft is climbing, so it's going to start to stall. We don't want to go as sharp. We just want to be a little above the horizon. But it has a tendency to pick up. That's because of the curvature of the Earth. As we go forward, we increase our distance from the ground. So we have to constantly update our pitch here. Go ahead and look at our bomb sight here. That's our sight glass. Where we at? Got a ways to go. We're about halfway to our target now. Pitch up, just slightly angle. See, we added bombs to our inventory there. I'm gonna go over this target and drop 2 bombs on them. Hopefully we live. We're about halfway to the target. We're gonna start our descent, which should pick up our airspeed to about 225 nautical miles. We're gonna drop our throttle down to about 70% power, so we don't need to waste all that gas. The guy just bombed the hell out of that. Dropping bombs. Look back. We hit it, but we didn't do a whole lot of damage. Swinging back. It's a pretty shot right there with the sunset. We gotta swing back north. That white on that thing means that base is almost destroyed. Gonna slowly climb back up. Plot our course back to the base. We just gotta maintain this heading. We'll hold it around 5,000 feet. The airport's right there where all those roads come together at that point. We're reaching the clouds. You're wondering if there are clouds in the game. Cloud is at 5,500 feet. If you're in a light plane like this, the clouds might be your friend. I'm gonna slow our throttle down. Throttle down to 50%. Here's the airport. That's the airport right there. Runway. What I do like with this game is, even if you go drop bombs successfully, you still gotta land the plane. Which, I like that. Be cool with the Navy game, you gotta fly back to the ship. Be a successful mission. So I gotta use turn my head to see how far I'm from the runway. Back then they didn't have GPS. Start turning around. Make sure when you're turning around you maintain your pitch to the curvature of the earth there, because your plane will wildly flip over and hit the ground. There are crosswinds in the game, so when you're landing you gotta account for that. And the plane doesn't always line up perfectly with the runway. So you gotta be careful when you're coming in. Let's slow our power down.
If we don't do something fast, the enemy will win.
Sure you pitch up. Wrong way. This isn't gonna be good. Gonna cut over the mess hall here. Went right over the mess deck. Now the plane is basically gliding because the throttle is off. Look how far that plane bounces. So when you're landing, you gotta be ready for these kind of things. It doesn't just stop as soon as it hits the ground. You can go a long distance gliding away. Let the plane come down and start hitting your brakes. You can land anywhere in the airport and they'll maintenance it. But sometimes you might have to drive back to the perimeter for them to maintenance your aircraft. Here comes the enemy. Hopefully this guy doesn't shoot me while I'm on the ground. That would suck. "27 seconds. One thing good about this game is the air and ground are combined. So those are actual people down there fighting on the ground. And hopefully this guy doesn't kill me. There's a guy, he didn't land properly. Alright, let's take off.
The enemy is winning. We must counterattack.
Up in the air. Right, we need to go back down. Oh, someone took care of that area. We're gonna go hit this target in the south. So we're gonna come west, sort of a triangle, and then head southeast. Turn west. We don't want to fly straight there because we'll be a sitting duck for the enemy fighters. So we gotta fly a strategic course. Part of our air campaign to hopefully we use these clouds or as our mask our movement. Definitely want to get up to 7,000 or 8,000 feet. We need to get to 9,600 feet to max out our airspeed when we dive. But we may... the target might come up on us before we get that speed. You gotta factor your speed going up, speed coming down. Your speed is always relative to gravity, which is 32 feet a second per second. We're gonna jump into these clouds and use it to mask our movement. Our side isn't winning, but we'll continue our mission. If this guy lets us. I can fly with a wing. Slow our throttle down. Stabilize, stabilize, stabilize. Wrong button. So, plane's still pitching. That's good. It's out of control. Out of control. I wasn't able to jump out of the plane in time. A little stinky German plane. They got 1, 2, 3, 4 guys left. We got 1, 2, 3 guys left. Or 2 guys left.
If we don't do something fast, the enemy will win.
See, not only do you have aircraft to deal with, but you have a flak coming up from the town, trying to shoot your plane down. Shot that bomber down. Let's show off. It's pretty good for an attack aircraft. Attack aircraft aren't really a dogfighter. They're usually heavily armored. think he's going down. Nope. Oh, he's on fire. It's a long way down. Notice that there's an officer, it's the pilot, the guy in the back's an enlisted man, so the first one to hit the ground is always the officer that goes first. You can bail out of the plane. You have to hit the X button to bail out of the plane before it hits the ground. We were number 12. Yeah, I don't think our 50-pound bombs are going to do a whole lot of damage. All that energy, we're only going to do about 100 pounds of damage to the enemy. Let's go straight into the next battle. We'll do one more air sortie and then we'll switch to the ground. We got 12 crew points out of that. We gotta get like 22 to get the next, to improve our crew. Well, I think two key things came out of that game. We've landed a plane successfully. We were able to get resupplied and we hit the target. At least dropped the bombs on the target. It didn't hit the building, but it's pretty good for unguided ordnance. Now, you'll see on those breakdown of the mission objectives, the people who are supposed to be covering the tanks crossing the river, you're not really going to send a fighter aircraft to do that. You would send an attack aircraft to do that, because that's what they're designed to do. Fighter aircraft is really designed to protect the attack aircraft and bombers. Generally stay close to the base, act as a defensive unit. But our plane sucks, so we're not going to be able to go out there and shoot people down. Only thing we could do is be a better target and keep one of our guys alive. It's all that we're going to really be able to do 6 days into the game. One of the future add-on packs we're going to get is the naval pack. They have a frigate, destroyer, I think even a gunboat. I definitely want to get the helicopter packs. Those are pretty nice. Vietnam era helicopters. Wasn't really till Vietnam that the helicopter really came into its being. They had helicopters in Korea and in World War II, but no one really noticed them. Korea, they were used for medical transports and resupply. But in Vietnam is where the helicopter really, the attack helicopter was born in Vietnam. I wonder if they have a Desert Storm, so you can go out there with an Apache. Apache can carry a lot of firepower for a helicopter. Wonder how long it'll be before the Comanche makes it into the game. If you're in a tank, you'll be a sitting duck for a Comanche. They'll come up over the horizon, you won't even see them. Drop a missile on you. I noticed... I'm gonna move this over to the right. I was noticing in the... it's probably better to move this over to the right side. Not a whole lot of important information over there other than... what's his name blew up a building? What's his name blew up this? What's his name got shot down? I can figure it out. It's weird because World of Tanks, the camera's better on the top left side. War Thunder, the camera's better on the bottom right. And then in Star Wars, the camera's better on the top left side of the screen. Definitely a long queue time. Bet you can go off and refill your coffee and come back and the queue won't pop. I think in the last 4 days we've had better success at landing the plane. And that's key to winning a lot of battles. At some point we're going to have to land that plane on an aircraft carrier, and that's going to be a lot of fun. Although there's no real aircraft carrier in the game. But they have a Pacific campaign, and unless they're flying all the planes off of islands. I mean, that's what the Marines did, but Navy mainly flew off of ships. There technically wasn't an Air Force in the Pacific. Although the Army Air Corps in the Pacific mainly flew the long-range bombers, which were the big B-29 bombers. Those guys had to fly like 2,000-3,000 miles just to get to the target, and then come back. Yeah. These are long missions. These European guys were crying they had to go 400 or 500 miles. Yeah. Dudes in the Pacific, short bombing run was what, 2,500 miles? Yeah. I think Carrier Strike Force, they strike from 200 miles away. But if admirals, they start feeling pressure if they find out there's a carrier task force 200 miles away from their fleet. That's when they start getting nervous.
Ooh.
Here we go, finally. Hardest thing is trying to find interesting things to talk about in the queue. Destroy any queue. We're going to focus on hitting enemy bases and airfields. Drop our big 50-pound bombs on people. I did add tracer rounds to my plane. Going into the sunrise. to turn west. One thing I noticed that a lot of these guys playing is they all group together and go attack that one target. You don't want to do that with an air campaign because then all the enemy has to do is just sit over the target and wait for them to come to you. You got to spread out your attack so that it forces the enemy to spread out. And since this isn't a really high priority plane, they're going to have to waste a more effective aircraft on a real crappy plane. But they won't know that until they're there. It's kind of like a decoy. See where the cloud cover's at. Oh! Hit the wrong button. We gotta go back. I was gonna look out the plane and I hit the wrong button. Some poor villager down there just got some bombs dropped on him. Whoops. Slow our throttle down. That sucked. Wasted a perfectly good ordnance. Here's the runway right here. Drop our power down to 30. Those of you wondering what happened, I accidentally hit the wrong button. I dropped my bombs as I was flying to the target, and so now I gotta go back and get new bombs. I gotta line my plane up, fly back to the runway over there. Just gotta remember where I'm flying to. Gonna do a fancy maneuver here. There's the runway. Drop our speed down. Coming in too fast. We're gonna have to make a runway. What's going on? There it is. Tip your wing too much. Not good. Too sharp, too sharp. I hope we don't hit the mess tack. Now this is just a plane gliding. It's not under any power. It's just the air getting up under the plane and lifting it. Remember, you gotta engage your brake. And we gotta sit here and wait for the maintenance crew. Look around and what's going on? Some enemy planes coming in. This isn't good. They're actually quite a ways from us. Oh, maintenance over. Gonna go back and hit our original target. I'm gonna keep my finger off the bomb button until I get closer to the target. Gonna go ahead and start turning so we don't run into that PF-109. 5 miles out, he'll have a hard time hitting us with guns. I mean, machine guns can't shoot 5 miles away. I mean, it's pretty far. Here we go. Gonna head west, then we're gonna hit that target down in the south, around D4 there. There's no real cloud cover, so we want to get up to around 9,000 feet. Approaching 6,000 feet. Across that river. And then we'll turn back to the target. As you get closer to your bomb target, the enemy will start shooting flak and anti-aircraft guns, so you gotta kind of bob and weave in there. So you want to make sure you come in with a lot of speed. With this aircraft, that's about 250 nautical miles per hour. Looks like we're starting to hit some cloud cover. $8,000 feet. We want to get to 9,600 feet, and then we'll start our descent. Wait. Go 9,600 feet. Start our turn. Aircraft should start to accelerate. We should be able to taper off our throttle back to about 60%. That way when we pull, we can thrust out of there. We're going to use our rudder there to guide us in. Which is the right stick. You should start seeing flak. How to manually hold us in. Yep.
If we don't do something fast, the enemy will win.
We hit it, but we didn't damage it. Throttle up. Climb back up. Here's the river. We're going to use the river as our navigational aid to get back to the base. Now with the aircraft, you gotta start slowing down the aircraft before you hit the ground. You can't really do that from more than 10 miles away. So over time you need to learn how to do that when you're landing the airplane. Slow to about 50% power. Remember, when you descend, the aircraft is going to accelerate. And you got to account for that when you're landing, because if you come down too hard, you'll break your landing gear. This plane doesn't have flaps, but you can rip them off the plane if you come in too fast, with too much energy. And bring it down to about 1,500 feet. Blind hunt? What's blind hunt? I don't know what you want me to do. Only one airplane. If you look out there, you'll see the airport over there. The runway. Right over there. That open field. Pull up. This plane is sensitive. You gotta ease it in there. Make sure your wheels are on the ground before you hit the brakes, or the plane will flip over. "20, 30 seconds till they fix my plane." Still gotta go down there and bomb that.
We must counterattack.
That guy in the south. There enemy fighters in here? I hear it's black. The battle's over, that's what it is. Nope, nope. Let's go on back to our target. This plane can take off within 415 feet. Can get airborne. We're gonna go right to the target. I don't see a whole lot of their airplanes out in the air. Continue on. According to the map, there's airplanes out there. I see him. Woo. See, I can land it. I don't have any wings, but I gotta... I shot my pilot. The jerk. Stinking German. Got lucky.
We suffered a defeat.
Well, we survived to the end of the battle. That's a plus. Let's go back out to the hangar. We're going to switch over to the tanks. Switch over to the army side. Be going out with this T-26. Look at our modifications. What are we, we're researching brakes right now. We need one more point. Yeah, jump in there. The tank queue goes a little faster than the aviation. But this tank is not a greatest tank in the world. I think it's a good training tank if you don't know what you're doing. It's a good way to learn. It's got a gun, it's got a machine gun, and it's got halfway decent armor. Now this game, there's a lot more dimensions to it than World of Tanks in that. See, we were fighting the air battle, and the air and ground take the place at the same time in the realistic setting. So the people shooting at you on the ground, although you're tanks, they can hit you from the air. So you might be holed up somewhere where a tank can't hit you, but the aircraft can come down and drop a bomb, and they don't have to actually hit the tank. Like a 2,500 pound bomb, they can hit like near the tank and still destroy it. So, ooh, already popped. Cool. So, your best defense against aircraft is your machine gun on a tank. Now, since we suck, our emphasis is just to get to where we need to be, support people in any way we can, and act as a meat shield. Where are we at?
The enemy controls most of the strategic zones.
Where are we at? We're up north. Where are we going? To C? We're gonna cut across and go to C. Yes.
The enemy's getting closer to victory.
This battle's already in progress.
Allied forces have captured that zone.
Now, as a tanker, you should always go along the base of the hill so you don't skylight your tank to the enemy. However, when you're in a valley like that, you're a sitting duck for aircraft. Sit here for a minute. Gonna take out our spyglass. That's our objective there. Somebody behind us. We have to capture C. There's a target moving into our base over there. Let's go forward.
If we don't do something fast, the enemy will win.
I see him. That's that 15mm armor protection. Not very useful. There's our ally over there.
The enemy has most of the strategic zones.
Here's the fighter, guys.
The enemy is winning. We're on counterattack.
There's our guy defending us. Here's our burning tank over there. The aircraft hit him. Oh, you put the fire out. There's the aircraft.
The Allied forces have captured the zone.
This is one thing I do like with this game is even if you successfully get there with your tank, the aircraft can come down and just drop stuff on you. And they can be like 30,000 feet up. Like the bombers, they can fly at a ceiling of like 30,000 feet and then drop a bomb right on you. Which is pretty realistic. Comes the Air Force. We're going to play this up until about 8 o'clock, and then we're going to switch over to Star Wars Battlefront 2. It'll be the third game in our triple feature. He stalled his aircraft. See the pilot jumped out? Remember, if you're on the PlayStation, you got to hit the X button, and there's a 3-second time delay in which you bail out of the aircraft. I was getting ready to bail out of my aircraft, and then that guy shot my pilot. The little bastard. Damn German dude shot my pilot. Where's this guy at? Yeah, this guy is
Have captured that zone. We need to put more pressure on the enemy. They're winning.
He's right here. Fast moving blue dot. I see what they're doing. They're moving along this line as mask their movement. That's what they're doing. It's kind of cheating, but taking advantage of a game mechanic there.
longer have an advantage.
Sometimes you can be an ace pilot, doing very well, and you mess around and crash your plane by accident. Or the plane breaks down. Like this guy. Yeah, crashed his plane on accident. Nobody shot him. It's called bad pilot. What is this, T-26? The T-26, the turret is slightly off center from the center line of the tank. I did learn how to shoot my machine guns yesterday. Discovered it by accident. You just use the R2 button, you hold it down and it activates your machine gun. I like the data modeling in this game, it's pretty good. Pretty realistic. There's a B-17 fuselage right there. Sure, Boeing appreciates that. When you're operating armor, you never want to position two tanks closer than 75 yards together because they're vulnerable to aircraft. If they drop a bomb, you space a tank out more than 75 yards apart so that the bomb doesn't kill both you guys.
Allied forces have captured a zone.
One thing that's impressive with this game is the maps are pretty accurate. And they're real world maps too, because we were in Sicily yesterday. We just drove off here. Where do we end up? 14. I'm shocked. Just go straight into battle, man. Our overall goal is to get our guy skilled out here. That's gonna take a long time. Tank will be developed long before that. And make a whole lot of money. We don't have to win the battles, but we just have to make money. Ooh. I decided to put the tank battles at the second half of the hour because the queue goes faster. The aviation side goes a lot slower, so I put that first. But I think the aviation, once you get into the battle, the action's a little bit faster paced. And then you gotta fly a long distance, get over the target, drop your payload, fly all the way back, land the plane, rearm, go back out. But that's a lot of fun. Oh. think overall my review of the game is I really like it. I think it's I've only been playing it 5-6 days, so just under a week. So it's been a lot of fun. There's a lot to learn. You're not going to be able to take the game in one day and become an expert at it. It's going to take a lot of time, which is good. That's why we play the game. What's kind of cool is you'll notice all the spare parts on the back end of that tank there. The wheels, treads. All the vital stuff is stored outside the tank. So there are 21,000 people, 625 battles. Early this afternoon, there was like 1,000 battles going on. With like 30,000 people in the game. Must be because the Europeans are playing. My footage from the other day. I think within the last 4 days I've gotten really good at landing a plane. Finally. I think I spend longer queuing up than I do actually in the battle. At least on the ground side. Then again, I'm a Navy guy. My specialty is ships. Let's go ahead and standard. just go. Where do we gotta get to? Oh, he's already moved. So we gotta go to C, huh? Go around the base of the hill. See that guy? He's going over the top of the hill. You're not supposed to do that. That's called skylighting. Gotta move my picture.
Enemy forces have captured a zone.
Let me move my camera. Up here for a minute.
Allied forces have captured a zone.
The enemy's getting closer to victory.
So move that.
Allied forces have captured a zone.
This is a tough decision. You hide behind the rock, it makes it hard for a tank to shoot you, but you're vulnerable to aircraft. There's a tank right over here.
Our victory is near.
There's the enemy tank right there moving across. Moving across from us. He got lucky.
The enemy controls most of the strategic zones.
Way down inside. The British. Oh, they got a matching set. Look at that. There's the bombs from the plane. That fire over there is my tank burning.
The enemy has most of the strategic zones. Hey, it took B. Yeah.
Tank's on fire. Look at that.
We no longer have the advantage.
Oh. Defeat. Defeat. I don't think we won that battle. We got paid, that's all that matters. Let's back out to the hangar. I think we're going to end War Thunder here and switch over to Star Wars Battlefront 2. I'll be switching games. See you on the next clip here.